there, Natalie with you today with a new process video for Scrapbook Nerd. And this week we're shining a spotlight on Altenew. And I'm a fan of Altenew. There's a lot of products arriving to the shop, to Scrapbook Nerd from Altenew. If you want something, you can ask Jo, she'll get it for you. So this week I am going to use some of the April 2019 releases, which are already available at Scrapbook Nerd. And this big stamp is called Geographical Landscape, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to emboss it onto some white cardstock, and I am using marshmallow cardstock because it's thicker, and I'm going to add mixed media to it. So what I'm going to use first of all is my Team Host platform, and then you saw me use baby powder just because I have a bigger surface to prep, and I don't want any of the embossing powder to stick. I'm going to use baby powder and a soft brush. Once I have that done, I'm going to use some embossing ink, and then just add I'm using white powder. This is from Michael's. I don't have any other one. And I'm just going to emboss it. And then once it cools down a little bit, I am going to go ahead and stamp the next image, which is the same. I'm going to try to, the edges don't match. So I'm just going to play with the stamp until something close to a complete line showed up when I lined the two images together. And then again, I'm just going to go ahead and emboss it. And once I had the two panels embossed, I'm not going to put you through that. I actually trimmed it. So I have a panel of around 5.5 by 11 inches. I'm going to say more or less, because like remember, the lines are not completely straight, so it's not going to be on the dot, but I'm going to play with it. Now, I want to add colors to them. My idea is I'm going to use this stamp again. It's called the Geometrical Landscape. I am going to use it to add or create my background. And for this, I am using Vicky Boutin watercolor markers, and I'm using crushed pineapple, coral macaroon, sugar strawberry, and cotton candy. So what I'm going to do is you're going to see that I'm going to add a little bit of my watercolor marker onto a piece of clear plastic. This is just a packaging from one of my collections. And all I'm doing is adding little drops of it, because I'm going to actually need very little of it to create what I'm going to do. And it's going to dry along the way, and I'm okay with that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make it a close-up, is I am going to have quite a bit of water at hand. So using one brush, I'm going to kind of flood the area where I'm going to color. So I'm going to say each little section is going to get a color. So I'm adding water to the inside of the section, whatever is inside the embossing powder that I created. And then I'm going to start coloring each one of the sections. I'm going to start with one of the colors, and you're going to see that I'm going to kind of not color the triangle that is next to it, but kind of skip a triangle. So just that the color sets before I put it on, even though I have the embossing powder as a limit, and that's going to help you to prevent the colors from muddling. I still want to make sure that the ink, or in this case the pigment, settles completely before I put something side by side. So again, like I said, the technique that I'm using for this, I'm just using a little bit of water to flood. In this case, I'm going to say, like, it has the shape of a triangle. And once I have that, I'm going to pick up a little bit of the color. In this case, this is, I believe, sugar macaroon. And you're going to see this a really soft, kind of peachy color. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to dab a little bit of the original marker just to add a little bit more of the pigment, darken it a bit. And then I'm going to continue the process. Now, when I get to the yellow in this case from Vicky's watercolor markers, it's really pigmented. So I'm going to add quite a bit of water, so just that it softens up. The same with the strawberry, the sugar strawberry, kind of a purplish tone. So I'm going to add a little bit of water so it takes away the fuchsia out of it. You're going to see that there's some areas or in some triangles that I'm going to come back and kind of add a little bit of water to the center of the triangles, and it's just going to kind of bleach the center a little bit, leaving it creating more of like a stained glass window look. You're going to see the yellow right now, that the one that I just added. So you're going to see that all I'm going to do is kind of add a little bit of water and kind of dab the center, and that's going to bleach the center and create that 3D look. I'm going to say it properly. And I love how this turned out. This did take some time to complete. Just like I said, I had to go triangle by triangle. You're going to see that I have a collection of brushes because I wanted to prevent modeling. And I did not go one single brush. All the colors I went by area. So you're going to see that I do a little bit of here, and then I'm going to take it off camera, and then I'm going to start on the other side, let that sit a bit, and then turn around the page. So it took me quite a bit of time, but I find this very therapeutic. So I just turn on. I should have put my Bible on speaker, and I just kept coloring while the Bible was reading. And this is super fun and something that you can do besides creating a background for a card, or in this case, I'm going to use it to create the background for my layout. So again, I'm going to take it off camera. It is going to take some time, but it's super easy watercoloring. So you're going to see now that my background is completely done. And because I am using heavy cardstock, it hasn't buckled that much, but I'm going to set it aside to dry completely. And I'm going to start creating the embellishments for my layout. For this, I am using the Weekend Doodles stamp set and some archival ink, and this is just plain cardstock that I'm going to use. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stamp the images, and I love these florals. They are not I'm going to say very detailed, and they have a kind of an angular look to it, so I thought it was going to complement my little background really well. So since this is a brand new stamp, like I said, I just bought it from the shop, I'm using an eraser just to take the film that comes on top of the stamp, and then I'm going to use Black Suit Distress ink to stamp it. And I'm going to make sure that it stamps really dark, so I'm going to go twice with my ink. Once I have everything stamped, you can see that using a platform in this case helps a lot, because all I do is rotate the paper. I already have the stamp set in place, so it helps to speed up the process. And then I have the coordinating dies, and I'm going to take that off camera and just cut everything. Now I'm going to start building the layout. So the first thing that I did is I pulled a picture of my daughter eating ice cream. She loves ice cream, and this was the first day of summer from last year. So what I'm going to do is I want to start creating some dimension. Remember, stamps are very, I'm going to say two-dimensional. So to add a bit of the dimension, I'm going to add a piece of cardstock behind my little watercolor panel. For this, I am using some cardstock that I had left over from another project that got damaged. And I usually don't throw cardstock that I know I can use, like in stuff like that, layers and stuff like that. So all I'm doing is I add a piece of the cardstock behind it. I'm just going to create a little bit of a lift. Think of adding a layer. So what I did is I glue it at the back, but I'm cutting it a little bit. I'm going to say a quarter of an inch shorter than what my panel is going to be. And then I'm going to glue it straight onto my background. And I'm choosing to work with color cardstock because I think everything is going to stand out much better. The watercolor, also the flowers, I'm going to keep in black and white. And every single embellishment that I'm going to add is going to stand out much better with the color background. So you're going to see that I have it in place. I'm going to glue it, I'm going to say a little bit off center, and then I'm going to start working on layering my picture. For this, I'm pulling some pieces from the Reflections kit from Altenew that is available at Scrapbook Nerd. There's a couple paper pads and some papers from Altenew that are also available, so make sure you check them out. And then I'm going to add a little bit of foam adhesive just to make sure that the picture stands out. And then I'm going to start creating clusters using the flowers. Now here's where I had a little bit of a problem, but I struggled a little bit with the configuration because I had, like I said, all those, there's a lot of little stems coming out of the flowers. So my solution was I'm just going to trim it. And don't be afraid to trim your stamp, not the stamp, but like the already stamped images. So once I trim a few of the edges and the little leaves that are sticking out, it was so much easier to build the clusters. So you're going to see that I'm just going to add some foam adhesive just to create, like I said, dimension, because this is a 2D image. So I want to create a little bit of a lift and some shadow. And for that, foam adhesive is going to be a way to go. So you're going to see that I trim some of the leaves, I trim some of the stems that are sticking out, and it helps me create the cluster easier. And then once I created one on the right hand side of the picture, I'm going to go ahead and start working in another cluster using only, like I said, the stamped images at the top of the picture. I'm thinking of a diagonal. And that was my idea first. I was thinking I'm going to do a diagonal design like from top to bottom. But once I put the cluster at the top, I realized that I did not want to add another cluster at the bottom. I wanted to take advantage of the panel to add more of the stamp images. It's going to be things going to show up much better that way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a third cluster of flowers at the bottom left corner of the watercolor panel. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that when I create my little cluster, I kind of create a little, I'm going to say a little gap where I can add my title. That's where my title is going to go. I think, like I said, I think having the color background and having this design, it's going to make everything else stand out. So once I form my little cluster, you're going to see that all the pieces that I cut of the flowers, I don't throw them away. I keep them on the side. And you're going to see right now that I'm going to bring them in, and I'm going to actually help me create some leaves and extend the clusters a little bit more, which I love. So whenever you cut a stamp, don't throw the leaves, don't throw the little stems, because you can, with a little bit of glue or a little bit of foam adhesive, you can make, they can help you create the movement of a cluster. So now for my title, I'm going to use the Fancy Hello die. This is, again, one of the April 2019 releases that are available at Scrapbook Nerd. And I was thinking I want to make it black just because it stands out. So I went and pulled a few of my Team Holt's metallic papers, and I pulled a few in black. I had a pink one, and then I had like this blushy tone. I have all the colors pretty much. I picked them up from Scrapbook Nerd too. So I'm gonna pull out a few colors and cut them out of the colors and decide which one looks better. So you're gonna see that I'm gonna audition the colors. I know the black is gonna go, it's gonna be there, but I think I'm gonna layer them together with a little bit of an offset. That way it's gonna show a little bit of the color underneath and the black, and it's just gonna play with the colors that I have. So I decided to put the pink one at the bottom and then kind of offset the black one on top so that you can see the little shadow of the pink peeking from behind the hello. So I'm gluing everything together. Again, this bottle of glue I bought from Scrapbook Nerd. I love the nozzle. It helps me when I'm detailing stuff like that. So once I have them all glued together, I'm going to put it straight onto the little gap that I created in the bottom cluster. And then my title is going to be Hello Summer. So once I have the hello in place, I'm going to bring the Indigo Hills 2 from Pink Fresh Studio. And I'm just going to add the word summer with the pinkish kind of blushy tone. After that, you're going to see that I'm going to add just a few more embellishments, not too much, because I don't want to take away from the background and the florals. There's a lot going on already. It's not that it's busy. It's just, I think if I put more things, it's going to compete with it. And I could have filled the entire page with florals, but I think that I put so much effort into the background and I love the colors. It screams summer that I wanted to keep it very clean. So once I'm just, like I said, remember all the flowers that I cut, I'm just going to extend some of the cluster. I'm bringing some stickers from the Sunny Days collection from Mackie Homes. Again, this is all available Scrapbook there right now. I'm just adding a few stickers. You're going to see that I'm going to bring a heart. I think it's from a couple collections ago from Crepe Paper. Again, I bought this not too long ago from Scrapbook Nerd. And then I'm going to add my Lines to Journal right underneath the little ice cream sticker that I added. And then I'm going to take that off camera. And then I'm going to add a few gold, color shine gold splatters because I think it needs to add some shine. And the heart that I added had a little bit of a gold foil details to it. So I thought that I had to bring some of it into my page. And that's pretty much it. I love how this turned out. Honestly, I love how this turned out. It did take some time to put together. The background took some time to put together. But if you like watercoloring or if you like coloring, this is a great way to kill some stress and just to take some time to, I don't know, I like to reflect, I guess. And I hope you try it. If you have any questions, do not hesitate to contact me. Check out Scrapbook Nerd. Everything that I use comes from Scrapbook Nerd. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope to see you soon. Take care, guys.